All right, flashing through some games, and there it is. $700. Where's the disc drive? Vertical stands sold. What? Hello and welcome to Leon Divert, where today we are going to talk about the PS5 Pro. I want to start by saying I grew up a huge PlayStation fanboy. Think Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2, Dragon Quest VIII, Jak and Daxter, just to name a few. But let's just get right into it. In light of recent events, Sony really has shown just how disconnected they are from their PlayStation player base. Exclusives have been hit or miss, with Concord and the PS5 Pro reveal being some of the biggest fumbles I've seen from the company in a while. Truthfully, the red flags have been there for a while, and I just wanted to go over some examples that show that the company was always like this. Like I was saying earlier, I grew up during the era of the 5th and 6th gaming generations. Think PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, etc. You know, during the jump from 2D to 3D, when plenty of new games were being explored. The PS2 was one of the best-selling consoles of all time, which unfortunately gave Sony an edge in the industry and a very inflated ego. This led Sony to believe that they had their consumers by the balls, and with one squeeze, they could make them buy anything. And then this happened.
In North America, the PlayStation 3 will be available
Here it is.
On November 17th, 2006.
$500 and $600. Look at that! This was almost 20 years ago! This was insane at the time, and I don't believe Sony have learned their lesson. I remember thinking I might have to skip this generation of gaming. I ended up playing a lot of PS3 games at Sedge's house when we were growing up. I remember playing Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim, some of the biggest pushers that really helped us get through hard times. That being said, I did eventually get my own PS3 around the time Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Remix released, so mid-2013. Like 6 months before the PS4 was released. Hopefully, I caught it on sale. I also remember enjoying The Last of Us around this time. The PlayStation Vita was supposed to be the Switch, like 5 years before the Switch released. I get so mad thinking of the potential that was lost with the PS Vita. I remember this game, Army Corps of Hell. I think it was made by one of the devs that worked on Pikmin. And it was so similar to Pikmin. I thought it was so cool, but it came out on a console that was dead on arrival. I hate it here! They let it die just like Concord, because it didn't sell well, but Sony shot themselves in the foot by not leveraging their IPs and having great launch titles. This has happened a few times in the gaming industry. Don't even get me started on proprietary hardware. The dedicated memory card of the PS Vita, in a time where SD cards and micro SD cards were already the norm for storage, was a wildly anti-consumer approach. Those memory sticks were severely overpriced. Nintendo learned from this and partnered to make branded micro SD cards for the Switch, an approach Sony could have made 5 years earlier. I can't even imagine the ecosystem for the Sony line of cameras. This all culminates with the optional PS5 Pro disc drive and stand. Spend $700 on your mid-generation upgrade plus another $100+ to make it the bare minimum that it should have been, just for slightly better graphics. Sony has been way too concerned with gaming being exclusively for premium consumers and superfans, and is likely doing this because resellers will buy them all anyway. This will make it even more expensive for the average gamer to obtain a PS5 Pro. Don't get me wrong, I understand that businesses are in business to make money, but we're reaching a point where TVs and gaming's graphics can't get much more realistic. Plus, hyperrealism is expensive to continuously produce. It's not as impressive compared to the jump from the PlayStation 2 to the PlayStation 3. And Sony's premium approach is slowly leading their player base to better, more consumer-friendly options. I'm not gonna lie, I skipped the PlayStation 5 to hold out for the PS5 Pro. And now I don't want either of them. Most of their games that I want to play are on PC, or they're coming to it eventually anyway. Still waiting on Bloodborne, by the way, Sony. What's that? This exclusive is still 30 frames per second on the PS5? I'm really not worried about buying that console anymore. It's gonna be a slow burn until they end up like Sega. There were so many games from the PS2 era that made me a PlayStation fan, but over time I've learned that Sony might be a risky company to invest in. Sometimes they get it right, but I think I've given enough examples to warrant being cautious with them moving forward. What examples do you have of Sony being anti-consumer, both in and out of gaming? Let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and y'all have a damn good one.